I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. Welcome to Women Awakening. I am your host, Cynthia James, and I get the honor of introducing you to powerful women that inspire me, ordinary women doing extraordinary things just because they have stepped into their own personal power. So I'm thrilled that you're here. Please know that we are on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart. And so you can find us. Please subscribe, come back. We do these every week, and you will meet women that will, I guarantee you, inspire you. So I want to introduce you to the guest today. Her name is Julia Loggins. And after surviving a debilitating illness in her teens and returning to optimal health, gut expert and wellness authority, Julia Loggins has led a private practice in Santa Barbara, California for over 35 years. She specializes in digestive health and nutrition. She holds international certificates in colon hydrotherapy, health education, and mind-body fertility health. I have personally been a client, and she's incredible. So she wrote her first book, The Unimaginable Life, with her former husband, Kenny Loggins. And then as she grew, she wrote Dare to Detoxify, followed by a workbook called It Takes Guts to Be Happy, a 21-day cleansing plan to heal your belly and recharge your life, right? In 2017, she designed a signature line of digestive health supplements for sensitive people. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you, they're in my closet, okay? And she launched 2 online courses through weekly live Zoom calls called the Happy Gut Makeover and the Menopause Makeover. Now, this is what's exciting. This month, February 2022, her new book, Revolutionary Beauty, written with iconic health pioneer Patricia Bragg of Bragg Live Foods, is available in hard copy, audio, and ebook versions. I got to contribute to that book, and I am so honored. And so I want you to know she's also a mother of 2 children. She lives in Santa Barbara with her husband, Paul Turner. So, Julia, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
So I would love to know, darling, first of all, give us a little bit of your background. You know, not everybody knows you or how you grew up or where you came from. So give us a little bit of your background.
Okay, so my background and, how I started my work was that I spent most of my first 17 years in the hospital. I had severe early childhood illnesses, life-threatening asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, bleeding ulcers, and I was sent to drug experimentation programs all over the country. I will be 67 in March, so this was in the 60s, and although all these things are still going on today, unfortunately, all the things that happened to me are still all too common. So one organ was failing after another due to the fact that I was just being bombarded by pharmaceutical medications, and doctors told my parents I wouldn't live beyond 17. So that was my beginning. I also came from a history of sexual abuse and trauma. So those kinds of stresses, always lead to, they become the foundation of things that we may deal with, not only in our emotional life but certainly in our health and in our body. And then I was blessed enough to meet a medical doctor who had been mentored by Paul Bragg, who had started the first health food store in America and was a proponent of natural foods, live foods. And he gave me a prescription, which was to eat all natural foods, eliminate dairy, wheat, and sugar, processed foods. Now, this was radical in the 60s. This was
totally.
This is just unheard of in those years. So, my parents said, how is this going to help her? And he said, well, it's the beginning. Then we're going to get her off all the medications. And they said, but then she'll die. And he said, if we don't get her off the medications, she will die. So I had three near-death experiences, one in his office where I left my body. I mean, I was watching the paramedics working on me. I went through a tunnel, and I felt, honestly, the first thing that I felt was relief, because I'd actually never been out of pain. It was the first time I just didn't feel pain. So I just felt this immense experience of expansiveness. And as I was moving into this place of light, I heard some kind of energy say to me, this is not your time. You have work to do, and you're not alone. And with that, I came right back into my body.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's so many things you just said. I want to go down those little rabbit holes. But so the first thing I want to say to you is that when you were going through these illnesses and there was doctors and everything, was there some part of you that knew you were going to get through this?
From the time I was really young, I was so connected to the spirit world. I mean, I didn't really live in my body. So, which is common to, kids who have had very serious illnesses or who struggle with life-threatening illnesses. I really didn't live in my body. I mean, I didn't move into it for a very long time until I did a lot of personal work. But I definitely felt connected to another realm. And I felt like I was held. Did I know whether or not I would make it? I can't say that I had a certainty that I would, but I definitely, I felt like I had a sense that I would. But, my mother always said, and a lot of women out there may identify with that, especially change makers. She would say, you live in your own world. You live in your own world. You don't live in the real world. And that was, of course, her criticism of this place that I developed to live in, until I grew up and discovered that I did indeed live in my own world. Now I have a tribe of incredible women and friends to share that with, and we are transforming what we would call the real world. But that carried me.
Yeah, and yeah. I was told the same thing. Get your head out of the clouds, get your feet on the ground. It's like, okay, but here's the thing. Do you feel, well, I'll just say for me, I feel that there are angels and guides that walk with us through life, right? And
Yep.
And did you feel like there was some presence with you, even though all this stuff was happening?
I really did. I always felt there was a strong presence with me. From the beginning, I always felt that. And it really became stronger and stronger and stronger. And it was something that I felt, was kind of maybe like a little crazy, because it was so much a part of my world. And, and I would really, especially at night, I was up a lot at night, because with asthma medication, it basically is like speed. So, to be able to breathe, I would have to give myself shots, and I was up a lot, and I would just have these out of body connections with spirits that I have, I now feel them when I work. I feel them when I write. I feel them when I'm working with someone and they say, how did you know I needed to hear that? And I say, it wasn't me. I'm just a vessel. I mean, it's easy to be humble and to know it's not that I don't value my work or myself. I do, but I also know that I'm always a team. I mean, even if people don't see everyone else and they just see me in the room, it's a team here. And that team is giving me information. They're connecting me. They're holding me, and they got me to this moment.
Yes, absolutely. And you're fantastic. And I want to talk about being in that room with you. Because first of all, some of the people listening may not even know what colon hydrotherapy is.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to tell us about that. And then tell us, why it would be important for us to do that.
Okay, so colon hydrotherapy, it's been around thousands of years. It's not new. Yes, the technology is new. The machine that, we worked on together in my office is relatively new, but the practice has been going on since the beginning of time. The practice of colon cleansing. I have a client who's an archaeologist, and he called me from South America, and he said, "You won't believe this. And if I wasn't your client, I wouldn't know what it was. I'm seeing a hieroglyphic of a shaman on a cave wall giving an enema with coffee in it, because I'm in South America, to in a celebratory experience after." Yeah, so this has just been going on, the understanding. I'm positive that these indigenous cultures also understood the connection of the brain to the gut, the connection of the brain to mental health, all of of the gut to mental health, all of these things that are being rediscovered. So a colonic is just a very safe, simple practice of introducing water, or in other, I use coffee as well, because that's the cleanser for the liver. And we can't cleanse our liver if our colon isn't clean. So we start with the colon, which, believe it or not, and you would know because you've had colonics, the colon can carry between 5 and 20 pounds of impaction due to the processed foods in our food chain, the environmental toxins, and mostly stress. And if you're a woman, then you know what stress is.
Go back.
Yeah.
How much weight can the colon hold?
We always say between 5 and 20 pounds, but Elvis Presley on his death certificate, actually the cause of death was constipation, and he had 50 pounds in his colon.
Wow. Okay. So this is so important, because how many of us have felt bloated and our stomachs extended, and then we want to go on some crazy diet, and
right.
When in reality, it could be cleanse your colon.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't do enough sit-ups to deal with this kind of impaction. And I know that from having clients who are just exercise fanatics, and I'm a fan of exercise, but they basically thought they were going to exercise away this bloat. And especially as we get older, and if our hormones aren't balanced, we can really end up with that, there's all kinds of names for it, a tire around the middle, that puffy belly. And also it creates fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, depression, besides just the fact that we don't look like, we know how we look, right? We know who we are. We look in the mirror and we think, is that me? Well, if you're wondering, then it's not. So, and then there's something you can do about it, right? We've got a solution, and the solution is so simple, and it's so safe, and it's, there's, and of course it's controversial, because anything that's simple and affordable in this world of, expensive Western medicine doesn't get exactly the kind of positive focus that it deserves. So,
Yeah, but what I love about it is, and I can tell you all, when your colon is cleansed, you feel lighter.
Yeah.
You feel more connected. You feel more open. And I guess I just want to talk about the fact that your gut health is an essential part of your self-care practice. Tell us why.
Yeah, it's so essential, because everything starts in the gut. If we're not digesting our food, then we aren't getting the nutrients we need, and our blood sugar is going to crash. A lot of type 2 diabetes, it's all about digestion. I've had so many clients heal type 2 diabetes by getting their gut health in control, right? Because we know that these things are all connected to each other. So for blood sugar, especially with the statistics coming out that in the next 10 years, 1 out of every 2 people will be diabetic. So this is all controllable. And it isn't just by not eating sugar or too much carbohydrates, although that has something to do with it. It's really about digestive health. So making sure that we're assimilating our food and then eliminating our food. And so digestive health, which it really starts in our stomach and then goes all the way through, of course, our colon, and we should be eliminating every day. I mean, I've had clients come to me and say, oh, my doctor said the fact that I go to the bathroom once every week is normal. Nothing normal about that.
Oh, hello. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Nothing normal. And I also have clients who struggled with dependencies on laxatives, and that, their doctor told them they would never recover the muscle tone, which is called the peristalsis in their colon. And colonics can really help you do that, because when you come to a colon therapist, your colon is doing the work. It's like taking your colon to the gym. It's not just the machine doing it. Your colon is really working to get that muscle tone back and to get going. So what's so important about gut health, our immune system, 80% of it is in our gut, and 95% of the serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter that makes us feel happy, optimistic, joyful, is made in our colon. It's not made in our brain. So,
Yes.
isn't that amazing?
It's incredible. It's really incredible. And so, ladies, I hope you're really listening, and I hope you'll go out and do some research on this and find someone that could support you. It has been such a transformational gift for me over history. Even when I traveled, and I would come back from another country, I would do a colonic just to make sure that any bugs and stuff are out of my system. Yeah. So I love that. I also love that about your supplements, and a little while later we'll tell people how to find them. But I want to talk about your new book.
Thank you.
Revolutionary Beauty. Here's the thing. We live in a world, a culture that is like kind of obsessed with beauty.
It is obsessed.
What do you look like? How thin are you? Blah, 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 right? But your book talks about revolutionary beauty from another place. So first of all, let's talk about the fabulous Patricia Bragg.
Yes.
And that you wrote this with her. And then let's talk about the book.
Yes, this book I wrote as really an homage to her, and to the fact that, number one, her father started the first health food store in America. He was really an incredible proponent of sustainable agriculture. He understood what chemicals were doing. He convinced his dear friend Rachel Carlson to write Silent Spring, to really start to wake up America. And Patricia has been waving the banner of, your health is your wealth. And her motto, age is a number and mine is unlisted, is the mantra of our book, right? Do you love that? And she is just a firecracker. She actually didn't like the name revolutionary. She didn't want that in our title, because she said, I'm not revolutionary, dear. I'm just practical. Mm-hmm. That's how she feels. And yet she is so revolutionary. I mean, as a woman, for 65 years, she ran one of the largest companies in the country and the first and largest natural foods company. So, I mean, the things that she did as a woman, she mentored Jane Fonda, because when Patricia, she's 92. When she was young, women did not exercise. They did not sweat. So she was just breaking all kinds of barriers, right? All the time. And when we met, and when we decided to collaborate, and she wanted someone to carry on her legacy, she said, dear, I want to write about ageless beauty, because beauty is something that we all want. We can't really get away from wanting to be beautiful, but we can redefine it and we can own it. We can own it. And I found this incredible piece of scientific research that says that beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. It is in us, and we project it like a hologram. And when we change how we see ourselves, the world changes how it sees us.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's powerful. I mean, but that's like love yourself from the inside out,
And yes. And it's real. And so we do know that. We know that how we feel about ourselves, we do project out. And then how we feel. Do we feel sexy? Do we be sensual? Do we feel, and that doesn't have to involve a partner. That's just like our own juiciness, our own love of life, our own joie de vivre, are we in touch with that? And that's something that that, we write about, and your story in the book, which is an amazing contribution of just, what it's like to have grown up, as a young African-American woman. I love the story you wrote. Everybody, you're going to have to get the book to read Cynthia's story, because she writes about, what it was like to be a young woman and, wrestling with her hair in the pool, and kind of struggling with that, and with how she was seen in her family. And then, how you found yourself, how you healed, and who helped you do that, and how diet and detoxification allowed you to to ground. We were talking about groundedness earlier. Well, there's an authentic way of being grounded, and that is in our physical health and stability, which we can control. There's a lot we can't control in this world. We can control what we put in our mouth. We can control how we cleanse. And so what we wanted to create in Revolutionary Beauty was a really simple, step-by-step, practical, as Patricia would say, very practical book. If it's not simple, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? And the very simple and affordable tools for women to heal their body, mind, and spirit, and just get in touch with their own authentic beauty. Because when we feel beautiful, we are more likely to feel powerful. And we're more likely to be able to be in touch with our voice. And I really feel, when women are in touch with their voice, we will change the world.
Oh my gosh, totally. Well, you're talking to the choir. That's what my next book is about, is finding your voice. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I do want to say something. I want you to tell people how to find you, the book, and your products. But let me just say something to y'all about these products. She says for the sensitive, every one of her products that I've used, there's never been a stomach upset. There's never been a kickback. It just feels like it's nurturing my body. So can you tell us how to find you and your book and your products?
Thank you so much. And, I created them for myself because I'm sensitive, and there's a lot of good products on the market, but they're complicated, and they can have too many ingredients in them, or ingredients that aren't complementary. And our bodies are really designed so simply for really simple things. So I figured if it worked for me, it was going to work for anybody. So you can find my products on julialoggins.com. And if you use the code Julia20, Julia all caps, you'll get 20% off. So that's what my gift to everybody watching the show today. And, and I've just, I actually have a few new products, because I was really wanting this winter to come up with some things that would make detox simpler, and getting some of the things that we need in our bodies, vitamin D, magnesium, just simpler. And my protein powders, I think women need more protein than most of us are getting, and we need it to be fast, easy, and assimilable. So, that's why I created those. And it was a work of love, just like everything that you and I, and probably all the women out there, have done. If I knew what I was doing when I started it, I probably wouldn't have done it. But
yes, because it's a lot of work and a lot of energy and a lot of time.
Yeah, it was a lot more than I expected. Like, oh, this will be easy, right? That's how I go into everything. But I'm so grateful that it's there now for all of us to use, myself included, and I'm excited, and I'm super excited about our book, and I'm so excited to be able to share this message, and to bring whatever new women have not heard our message, yours, mine, all the women that are in our tribe, to the world of women who may not have had access yet. And that's the goal of the book, to basically move out of just our tribe into the world, to be there, to be a hand and a bridge to every woman that wonders, am I okay? How do I feel better? How do I feel beautiful again? How do I find my voice?
Yes, beautiful. So you can get Revolutionary Beauty on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, please, ladies, do yourself a favor and just gather the wisdom that's in this book.
Thank you. Amazon for the moment is sold out, but Barnes and Noble and Books A Million have books.
Okay.
So yeah, I know.
I love being sold out. Hey.
Right. It's a good problem.
Good problem. So, I just want to ask the final question. And I really want to ask it of you from a different place. What is the one thing you want women to know about the importance of their awakening? And the reason I'm asking you to take a little deeper dive here is because you not only awoke to take care of yourself, but you had an awakening in terms of choosing yourself in relationship, choosing yourself as a mother. So what is the one thing you want women to know about the importance of their waking up?
I'd say the most important thing for women to do is one of the hardest things, at least it has been for me, prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself. I mean, if it makes it easier to think of yourself as the queen bee, and the hive will not survive if the queen is not cared for and does not care for herself, basically 100%. When we are in line with who we are, then everyone around us is lifted. And yet, as women, we are conditioned to do exactly the opposite, put ourselves at the bottom of the list, don't spend any money on our own coaching, supplements, time, body work, all of those things. And I still struggle with those. I do them, but I'm not saying that my mind isn't just, kind of doing its thing. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But I'm doing it anyway. And that's and it's really true, especially around coaching, especially around asking for help and getting help from the professionals that you want and need. Don't try to do everything alone, but just keep putting yourself number one. That's my mantra.
I so love that. Yeah, choose you, ladies. Choose
you. Choose you. And then if that bugs somebody, let the screen door hit their ass on the way out.
Oh, Julia, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited about the work you do in the world. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you. So, ladies, you heard this enthusiasm, this exuberance from Julia Loggins. She's just an example. The same energy lives within you. It may express differently, but it lives within you. You are an original imprint. You are powerful. You are dynamic. You are unrepeatable. So go out there and change the world, bringing your gifts to the planet. I'm so honored to speak to you, to be with you. Come back every week and meet a new woman, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you see podcasts. I love you. I'll see you next time.